Bret Hart. I thought it was hilarious. I mean, just like the bitterness or the jokey bitterness or whatever you want to call it, it's brilliant. Bret recently signed a photo for a fan. It's a photo of himself, and he inscribed it. We've already sworn on this episode, haven't we? We can do the swear words, or shall I bleep myself?
No, we can do it a little bit, not to the extreme.
Okay,
Go to what you're going to say. I thought you run don't you run the disclaimer before the show?
God, no.
No?
No, not unless Kenny Boland's on. Or Jamie Dundee.
Well, I love the disclaimer. You've been warned. Okay, go ahead.
So Bret signed a photo of himself to a fan. Fuck Bill Goldberg, shittiest wrestler who ever stepped in a ring. Bret Hitman Hart. And the photo is him with a big old smile as well. It's brilliant.
I haven't seen it.
I sent it to you.
I couldn't find it. It was just a deal.
Okay.
But anyway, I know what you gonna show it?
I'll show it. One sec. Okay.
I see it now.
I have sent it to you. Here's your reaction.
Are you showing on the screen too here?
Yeah, you're on screen. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put the photo up.
Okay. F.K! Exclamation point. Bill Goldberg with a big smile. Shittiest wrestler who ever stepped in a ring. Love you. It don't say love you. But Bret Hart with a big smile. You know, I got to kind of agree with Bret because Goldberg was pushed into that position as unbeatable because he will win his matches in 2 minutes or whatever. But then when it come time for him to kind of sell, he didn't know how to do it. So he was on, I mean, Goldberg didn't get himself over. They got Goldberg over, but Goldberg didn't really know how. So when it went time for him to maybe go 10 minutes, 15 minutes, he would die. The match would die because they made him almost too strong. His selling wasn't worth a crap, and he was lost. And his opponents was lost. Therefore, the match was lost. So you can create these characters to be too strong, and I don't know who you'd have to beat him down because he was almost the unbeatable, untouchable guy. Long as they kept him in that role and him to win, he was fine, and it'd have to be short. But if he had to put some time in, he was lost.
Depending on the person.
So,
Diamond Dallas Page definitely got a really good match out of him that went, way beyond 10, I think. But
the deal is you have to get him in the back. It's almost a day or two coaching job to get him there. You could probably get it out of him, but you'd have to convince him it wasn't going to hurt him, and you'd have to do a lot of damn selling, really. You have to sell what you wanted to do to him and get him to buy it. But very few guys could do that. Diamond Dallas Page was on that level. He could get him to do it. And maybe if Scott Hall was on that level, maybe to get him to do it. But other than that, he had very few opponents. Did he ever match up with Undertaker anywhere?
Yes, he did. It was only a few years ago. It was in Saudi Arabia, and that was the one where Goldberg... Now, I can't remember the story. Did he headbutt and nearly knock himself out before he even walked to the ring? And then he tried to do the... So he's trying to he's trying to G himself up, and then he's smashing his head on a locker room, and he goes, "Ooh."
That sounds something like a wrestler would do.
Yeah.
Knock themselves out before they go out there. So I never knew they wrestled.
Oh, it was a disaster. Complete disaster, because Goldberg nearly killed Undertaker by dropping him on his head for the jackhammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was... We should review that one day, because that was a complete
We should.
disaster.
Okay, Goldberg got into a fight with who? Jericho?
Yes, he did.
About, what was that about? Didn't he do something to Lex? I mean, to Luger. I'll get it right in a minute.
I'm interested now where this is going.
I think he dropped a knee on somebody and cut their eye. Randy Orton, I think.
I don't remember this.
Well, I guess I'm just a liar.
No, so what's the story then?
Something happened, and I'll get it right here.
No. I know what you mean. It's not Goldberg.
And he came back. Who was that?
It was Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton.
It was, yeah. But Jericho got in a fight with him.
Yeah, Jericho, I think, confronted Brock Lesnar over it, yeah. But I think we're going beyond the...
But didn't they actually get into a fight and throw some punches or something?
It's probably split up before it ever happened. I don't know, but as far as Jericho goes, I mean, he did confront Goldberg as well when Goldberg first got into the WWE in 2003, I think, because they had some lingering issues from WCW because Goldberg essentially refused to work with Jericho.
Why?
Well, because in Goldberg's mind, Jericho was beneath him, and Jericho was making fun of him on interviews for several weeks beforehand. Yeah, on interviews. You know what? He was actually trying to build interest in their eventual match. And then Goldberg went to Eric Bischoff and said, nope, that's not happening, no way. And then he just got it cancelled.
So he didn't like the way he was being portrayed by Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's great.
That's one of the weird.
I mean, he sold it so well that the guy he was talking about him on TV, he bought it. So
yeah,
that was good.
The thing is, he's basically got 1 year in the business at that point, Goldberg, and he doesn't know what's good and what's bad for his character. But the thing is, I think Bill would say this himself, was he was being surrounded by master manipulators in Hall and Nash and Hogan, and trying to... I mean, as soon as Goldberg won that heavyweight title, it was all over for him, in the sense that as soon as he was the champion, all of a sudden he was booked worse than before he was champion, in the sense that, I mean, there's even some pay-per-views he wasn't even on. So I think it's crazy. If you look at that 5-month spell between him having the title and then losing the title to Kevin Nash, which is his own ridiculous story, is that I think on one pay-per-view as champion, he was in a battle royal to determine a number 1 contender, even though he was the champion, and Goldberg won. So...
Wait a minute.
So he established no one as a contender.
I've never heard that. When was that?
98.
Okay, he was he was champion.
I believe that's right, yeah. He was champion.
Wait a minute. Nobody figured that out, that he was a champion, and they were trying to determine a number 1 challenger. Are you sure that he didn't sit back and watch the match?
No, I'm pretty sure he was in it. I'm pretty sure he was in it. I hope I'm not speaking out of school here. I'm sure he was in it, and he won.
Okay, we're going to crowdsource this. If anybody remembers this happening, let us know, because I've never heard that. But I would like to check on whether that's true or not.
Do you want me to give me a minute? Okay, we're back recording, and I was absolutely right. Goldberg won an NWO Invitational Battle Royal by last eliminating the Giant, Paul White, the Big Show. So he was in the semi-main event, and the main event was Diamond Dallas Page and Jay Leno, as in that Jay Leno, versus Hollywood Hogan and Eric Bischoff. So Goldberg is the champion, standing around with his dick in his hand, with no challengers, and he's still on the semi-main event under Jay Leno.
And the Battle Royal was to establish a number 1 contender.
Well, I don't know if it was officially to establish a number 1 contender, but I mean, if someone eliminates Goldberg from a Battle Royal, then they must surely be in title contention.
Okay, are you sure it wasn't a title match?
I'm looking at it. It was definitely not a title match, no.
Which doesn't make sense either, but...
Yeah. So it's a non-title, non-number 1 contenders NWO Invitational Battle Royal, which Goldberg won.
Well, we're going to have to revisit that and talk about what are some of the really thoughts that went behind this booking.